mechanical engineering. I did college. And I did a little bit of college, then I did a little extra college, and then I got to go work at NASA for 9 years, and I worked on the Curiosity rover. In fact, one of those egg drop ideas was the air balloons, right? That was like the rover. And now I work for Apple, so I do product design, making like in their special projects group. So cool stuff you haven't seen yet from Apple. That's pretty cool.
So I wanted to ask, does that mean you're working on the self-driving cars or not?
Yeah. So
if you can.
All I'm allowed to say is I do product design into special projects.
Okay, so all right. So one of my questions, and then we're gonna get to their questions. Okay, so are these students here? So think about this. This is my question for you. Are they ever gonna have to learn how to drive? So how old are you? Tell me out. How old are you?
7.
Yeah.
7.
So this is just based on everything I've read. I think that's true. I don't think you guys will ever need to learn how to drive.
Think about that. You're never gonna drive a car. Okay, all right, so go ahead with the question.
All right. Jaden, why don't you ask your question? You don't want to? Well, Jaden's question was, where do you live?
Oh, good question. I live in like the Bay Area, so San Francisco.
Oh,
They call it Silicon Valley. So Google, Apple, all those guys.
All right, cool. We'll look it up on Google Maps tomorrow. All right, perfect. Oliver, what was your question?
Where do you work?
Where do you work? But where did he work?
Apple.
Yeah, he works for Apple. That is so cool. We have 10 iPads in our classroom. We love that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then what was the other question we had? Reese.
Why did you make videos?
Why did you make your YouTube videos?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I didn't even talk about that. I really like what we're doing right now. I like getting kids and just people pumped about science. And sometimes it can seem like, oh, this is so hard, I don't get it, right? But there's a lot of science that's cool, and it helps us understand the world around us. So even if you don't go on to be a scientist, if you start to think like a scientist, and sort of you test things and you say, well, I'm not just going to agree with that, I'm going to think about it. And maybe I'll do a couple tests. I think that's good for everybody.
That is an awesome idea. We watched your Orbeez video yesterday.
Oh, cool.
That is so cool.
Hey, you guys want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Okay, you got a pinky swear not to tell.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't tell my sister.
I've been working on a video for like 2 years that I'm getting close to being done with. And you want to know what it is?
Yeah.
I made a dartboard where you get a bullseye every time.
What? That is so cool.
The dartboard has a motor on it, 6 motors actually, and it moves it really quick in a half a second. And when you throw the dart, it tracks the dart, and then it moves the board, and then you get a bullseye. Is that pretty cool?
Oh,
Yeah. Now you're gonna take that and make money off of it first before you
Yeah.
before it goes on YouTube.
What's cool though is that you can do the opposite too. It knows which dart you're holding, so if you're holding a certain dart, it moves, it gets out of the way. So if there's 2 people playing darts, someone will get a bullseye and someone won't even be able to hit the board.
All right.
If you're not good at darts with my invention, you will be.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So they told you already that we're gonna try this again, and so we had some questions on. They watched your video, they dissected, and so I'll ask mine. Okay. So
Cool.
you said, and we talked about it here. So you said you like the Wendy's straws because they were stronger and stiffer. Okay. So why wouldn't I then want to use like metal rods? Instead, if you're telling me it's better because they're stiffer, why wouldn't I use metal rods then, or wood rods?
That's a really, really good question. So there's sort of a sweet spot, right? So if you use spaghetti noodles, you guys think if I wrapped my egg in spaghetti noodles that are all wet and squishy, do you think that would be good?
No!
2, it's too soft, right? But if, like Matt was saying, if I wrapped it in something really, really stiff like concrete, that didn't give it all, and or just metal, really tough things. Do you think that would be good?
No.
No, that would be too hard, and it would just give all that energy straight to the egg. So you want something that's stiff enough that it'll break, because in the act of breaking, guess what? It takes energy to break that thing. So if you break one of the straws, that's good, because that means that that energy doesn't go to the egg. So that's why in cars in like the 1950s were like solid steel, really hard things. And we thought that was good, but all that meant is you hit a wall and the person would get all that energy. Now, cars are meant to like crumple and crash. And that's a good thing, because all that crumpling takes the energy away from hitting the person. So you get to walk away. So there's a sweet spot is the answer.
So
that's a good question. I was incomplete in my statement in the video.
So we used clay for one of them. So it was soft enough to absorb the energy, and it worked really well for how high. But we're gonna try it again because I don't think we were high enough.
And we used popcorn
worked.
too.
So
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Interesting one.
I used
You want something that will, clay is good. And experimenting with things is good, yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead with this.
All right. So Tyler, will you ask your question, please?
I want to do it.
Okay. Can I ask a
I'm
question?
joking.
Stand up, Tyler, so we can hear you.
Yep. Stand up and ask him your question.
I really don't want
Okay. Next person.
I still want to do it.
Okay. We'll ask another. Who was another person who came up with a question for him about the egg drop?
I have a question. Did anyone use a parachute?
We did not.
Okay, can I show you guys something?
Yes, please.
See this? Let's see if I can get it. So this was the parachute we used for the Mars lander. You can see it up here. I'll try and get it close. So it came in the sky like this, right? And there's a person in here, right here. So you can see how big this thing is, right?
Oh.
See this right here, that orange little rectangle?
Yeah.
Watch this. Okay, remember how small that is compared to the big parachute, right?
Yeah.
So this is that same rectangle, and there's no way I can even get this on the screen. I have to do this and do that. So it's one full length like this, and then one full length like that. See how big that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just one tiny square right, whoops, I got it upside down, right here. So that shows you how big this thing is, right? And it's made of lightweight sort of nylon, so it's really strong and light, and that's important. So I would recommend, I said it in the video, but doing a parachute always helps, because it will slow you down, and therefore that's less speed that you hit the ground with, right? So if the rules allow it, you should always just make a simple parachute out of like a light trash bag, just like we did with the rover. There's a reason we did it with the rover. It works really well. It's very effective.
We can see.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you didn't see, did you see the 7 minutes of Hades from, I show that to my older students. So we've seen that. I know what you're referring to with the parachute.
Yeah, that's a good one. You should, they should watch that too, because it's sort of like a Martian egg drop, right? It's like